We're now taking you live to the Queensland Premier Annastacia Palaszczuk.
There is nothing here that I cannot see our government implementing. This report will go to Cabinet on Monday. I do want Cabinet to consider it and read it. And like I said to you, we've only just been handed the report ourselves. I think one of the most key observations is, of course, that the CCC must involve public approval, respect and trust. And we had the parliamentary inquiry about the Logan City councillors, and this prompted government to undertake this comprehensive inquiry. There are a number of observations, and the Attorney-General will go into a few of those recommendations. But of course, the two key findings are that the CCC should be funded to create a new corruption strategy and prevention unit as part of an overarching restructure, which introduces greater civilianisation of and less reliance upon seconded police officers in its corruption investigations and strengthens the organisation's oversight of these investigations. And secondly, while seconded police should retain the power to charge, other than in exceptional circumstances, charges should only be brought after DPP has considered the evidence and concluded that it is proper to do so. So a new MOU will be put in place between the CCC and the DPP. So there will be the recommendations also involved clarifying the police secondment arrangements, better training, and of course in the DPP the Attorney-General will talk about this in more detail, about having two separate sections in the DPP. So these are very sensible recommendations. I thank them for their work. It has been very, very comprehensive, and now that this report has been handed to government and has gone out publicly today, and can I just say too that we made that decision to release it publicly today, and Cabinet will consider it on Monday. So Queenslanders can see it at the same time that you are all seeing it as well. So I'll ask the Attorney-General to say a few words, and then we'll take a few brief questions. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Premier. And as the Premier has said, we welcome the report by Tony Fitzgerald and Alan Wilson, and we look forward to considering these recommendations. At the heart of this report, it's that Queenslanders must have confidence in the corruption watchdog. It plays a central role in our integrity system, and that's why it's so important that it remains independent, impartial and fair and trusted by Queenslanders to undertake corruption investigations. The Commission of Inquiry received 87 submissions from a range of stakeholders and members of the public, and they have made 32 recommendations. The report outlines that there are a number of risks when you have seconded police officers working at the CCC. Importantly, they recommend that seconded police officers should continue to work at the CCC, but have made a number of recommendations about how that can work better. They say that there are predominantly two risks that occur when you have seconded police officers at the CCC. The first is the risk of influence by police officers at the CCC to influence the culture, and the second is the risk of corruption investigations adopting a law enforcement or policing approach. So to combat that, they have recommended that the CCC undergo a journey to increase the number of civilians working in these investigation teams, so multidisciplinary teams. People, of course, seconded from the police service, but other people with other skills, and they take the time to train up civilians in investigative skills. They also, of course, recommend a focus on training, so the creation of a new dedicated training and development officer, and as the Premier has said, also looking at prevention and setting up a strategic prevention unit. Of course, the other key recommendation is that the CCC do not charge individuals following a corruption investigation unless they have received advice from the Director of Public Prosecutions. I think that that is a really key recommendation, particularly as this Commission of Inquiry arose from the PCCC's inquiry into what happened in Logan City Council. So the CCC have to take the time to get that advice from the Director of Public Prosecutions before they charge, unless there are exceptional circumstances. And as the Premier has said, an MOU will be developed between the CCC and the DPP. I think that this is really incredibly important work. The CCC is absolutely paramount, and it is paramount that Queenslanders have confidence in our corruption watchdog. And I think who better than Tony Fitzgerald and Alan Wilson to really look at these issues and ensure that we put in place more checks and balances to ensure that Queenslanders can continue to have confidence in the CCC.